You ever stared at a failed exam result and just felt that pit in your stomach? Well, today, we're going to take that exact moment, a very, very expensive OSCP failure, and we're going to flip it into a roadmap for your success. We'll break down exactly why people fail, and more importantly, how you can build a plan to make sure your next shot is a total win.
Okay, let's just put the number out there that makes everyone sit up a little straighter. $1,749. Yup, that's a real price tag for a Pen 200 course bundle in 2025. See, this isn't just some academic test, it's a serious financial investment. And when you fail, it doesn't just sting your pride, it hits your wallet hard.
And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Beyond the cash, there's this heavy emotional price. You pour hundreds of hours in, you sacrifice nights, weekends, all for that one-word email, fail. It is absolutely crushing. So we're going to talk about how to deal with that feeling, but also how to keep it from ever happening to begin with.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the high stakes of the exam itself. Then we're going to dive deep into the mistakes, splitting them into 3 big areas: your method, your mindset, and your overall strategy. And then we'll wrap it all up by building a concrete, actionable roadmap for your second attempt.
All right, let's set the stage. What really makes the modern OSCP such a beast? Why is it so high stakes? Well, it's a perfect storm of difficulty, cost, and just the sheer amount of time you have to sink into it. So this is what we're up against: a full 24 hours of hands-on keyboard hacking. And you need 70 points to pass. A massive part of that is the Active Directory set, the system that runs pretty much every corporate network on the planet. And here's the real kicker. Those bonus points you used to get for lab reports? Gone. They're not a thing anymore. You either hit that score on exam day or you don't. There's no safety net. And here it is. This might be the single most important thing you hear today. The OSCP isn't won or lost in that 24-hour window. Nope. It's decided in the months leading up to it. It's lost in those tiny, seemingly harmless habits, like taking messy notes or skipping a full port scan because you're in a rush. That's the first domino to fall, and that's exactly what we're here to fix. First up, let's talk about your method. This is all about the tactical stuff, the nuts and bolts of your process. It's about the mistakes you make in how you actually do the work of hacking, and just as important, documenting.
Seriously, I want you to just stop for a second and ask yourself this question. Be honest, because your answer tells me pretty much everything I need to know. Are you just chasing points like it's a pop quiz? Or are you approaching this thing like a professional, paid engagement? Just look at the difference here. The quiz mindset on the left, it's pure chaos. It's reactive, you're jumping between terminals, you get flustered when something doesn't work, and your notes are a total mess. But the client job mindset, that's calm. It's proactive. You're building a story for each machine. You have to imagine OffSec is your client, and they need a clear, logical report. That simple shift in perspective, it's a complete game changer. Look, if you forget everything else from this section, please remember this. At its absolute core, the OSCP is a test of your enumeration skills. Full stop. Rushing this part is the #1 reason people fail. I get it, it's so tempting to jump on the first shiny thing you see, but slow, methodical enumeration, that's what reveals the real attack path and actually saves you time in the long run. So let's do a quick gut check. Run through this list in your head. Are you answering no to more than 1 or 2 of these? If you are, that's okay. You've just found a huge area for improvement. Success here isn't about finding some magical 0 day. It's about having a boring, disciplined, repeatable process that you can actually trust when you're under pressure. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about mindset. Because you could have the best technical skills in the world, but if your head isn't in the right place on exam day, you're going to fail. We're going to hit the 2 biggest mental traps: ego and burned out. On the one hand, you have this macho fantasy of the 24-hour hackathon, right? I'll just power through. And on the other, you have professional reality. Pushing through without sleep isn't heroic, it's just, well, it's dumb. Your cognitive ability literally plummets after 16 hours. A simple exploit path you'd normally spot in 5 minutes becomes an impossible puzzle. Structured rest isn't a weakness, it's a strategic weapon. And this is what a pro-level plan looks like. It's not rocket science.
A few short walks to clear your head, a dedicated 90-minute sleep block to totally reset your brain, and a hard stop for hacking so you have plenty of time and energy for the report. The key is you have to build this plan before the exam starts, not when you're already fried at 3 a.m. The other big mindset trap is trying to do this all alone. There's this weird myth that you have to suffer in silence to earn the cert. That's just nonsense. Prepping with a community, sharing your struggles, getting feedback, hearing other people's stories, it makes you see your own blind spots. It makes the whole process faster, and it keeps you honest about what you actually don't know yet. Okay, let's talk strategy. This is about zooming out from the technical prep. It's about building a professional approach that, and this is key, includes a plan for the very real possibility of failure. We've got to be real about the money. This table breaks it all down. You've got that initial big chunk of change, but you need to budget for a potential retake. And please, don't forget the hidden cost. Those 300 plus hours you spend studying, that's time you could have been freelancing or working. Understanding the full financial picture stops you from making panicked choices, like rushing to take the exam before you're actually ready. This is such a powerful way to think about it. Failure feels terrible, I know, but it's also the most valuable diagnostic tool you can possibly buy. It tells you exactly where your weaknesses are. If you have a plan for what you're going to do after you get that email, then failure isn't a catastrophe anymore. It's just step 2 in the process. And here is that plan, a simple 4-stage pipeline. The most critical part is rule number 1. After the result comes in, you make no big decisions for 48 hours. Don't quit, don't immediately rebook, just let the emotion pass. Then, you can move into a logical diagnosis of what went wrong, which tells you exactly what to focus on in your training for a much, much stronger second attempt. Okay, let's pull everything we've talked about together into one final actionable roadmap. This is how you build a controllable, repeatable process for that second attempt, the one that ends with a pass. This isn't just study more. This is a project plan. 3 distinct 4-week blocks, each with a single, ruthless focus. You attack your specific weaknesses head on. If enumeration was your problem, you live and breathe it for a month. If Active Directory kicked your butt, you immerse yourself in it. Then you finish with full-scale mock exams to dial in your timing and reporting. It's structured. It's smart. So let's wrap this all up. This is your blueprint. Treat the exam like a professional client engagement. Build disciplined, almost boring habits that you can rely on under pressure. Use sleep and reporting as strategic scoring tools, not afterthoughts. Plan for the reality of the money and the potential for failure. And finally, stop studying and start managing a structured project with clear, measurable goals. And I'll leave you with this one question to really chew on. A heroic plan is based on wishful thinking, on powering through. An honest plan is based on a real, hard look at your time, your budget, your skills, and your habits. So, which one do you have right now?